Rovers kick off their brand new squeaky clean season up against Derby County over at Ewood Park, and my preview is already out there. But what are the hopes and dreams of course, Derby County? Well, today, we're going to find out. That's right, folks, back once again with another video today. Rovers Rivals returns as we hear from the other side of the coin. That's right, Derby County. What do they expect from not only this match, but of course this season? We're going to find out, of course, from a opposition fan in just a second. Again, if you're new, where you been? Smash your subscribe and your one-stop shop for Blackburn Rovers is right here under one Rooski. What EFL, non-league, we're going to all hear, boys and girls, under one Rooski. But today, we're going to have a little chat with a Derby County fan. That's right, we'll get to him in a minute. Big shout out to the VIPs. They are the patrons. You know who you are. But anyway, let's get into it. Okay, so joining me today is Ryan, a Derby County fan, familiar or famous for his Second Tier podcast. And he joins me here to talk about the upcoming game against Derby County. So for those people who are unaware, tell us a little bit about yourself and how in the world did you end up supporting Derby County?
So I'm probably best known to Blackburn fans, as you say, for the Second Tier podcast, and we've had an interesting relationship with Blackburn fans over the years. I think that's fair to say. But why I'm a Derby fan? I've supported Derby my whole life. Dad's Derby fan. I'm one of those who supports who their dad supports, and I've been a season ticket holder for many years now. Not so much recently because work has kind of got in the way of that, but I still go to as many games as I can. So yeah, still seeing the Rams every week when I can, and hopefully looking forward to a decent season back in the Championship.
Yeah, back in the Second Tier, which is, of course, good for you. The second time of asking, are the Rams ready to be back? Are they well equipped? Have they got the right personnel to stick around?
No. Put very simply, I'm a bit concerned at the moment. So first and foremost, the manager, Paul Warne, his record in the Championship, for those who aren't aware, reads 3 seasons in the Championship and 3 relegations. So I'm slightly concerned about whether he's got the tactical nous to keep Derby in the Championship. When it comes to the squad, I think we've got some players who can definitely impress at Championship level, but going forward is where I'm particularly concerned. So far we've signed Jerry Yates, Caden Jackson, 2 lads who have had a season. Well, Jerry Yates has had a season or 2 seasons in the Championship. Caden Jackson's had 1 season in the Championship, and they're not the most prolific of strikers. And then we've also got James Collins, whose best years seem certainly behind him. So yeah, to put it simply, not sure about the manager, also not sure about the squad, particularly going forwards. But I wouldn't rule out Derby staying up at this stage. I think we've still got a decent chance, and it's a long old season, isn't it?
It's definitely a long old season, and you know, I'm of the mind that Derby should be all right. I think there are 3 worse teams off. But as an opposition fan, looking forward to seeing Derby at Ewood Park, who should we be excited about seeing pulling on the famous Derby County jersey this coming match?
Well, Aaron Cashin is someone I absolutely love. I think he's a fantastic defender, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him in the Premier League at some point. He has been linked with Brighton in the past and maybe a couple of other clubs, and he very nearly moved to Brighton last summer, actually, but Derby managed to hold on to him. He's been the best defender in League One for the past couple of seasons. He's still 22, I think he is. So he's a unbelievable defender. He really is. Who else stands out? I mean, Nathaniel Mendez-Lang is coming off a fantastic season for Derby. If we didn't have him last season, we wouldn't have got up. He, at times, was a one-man attack because he's just so influential for Derby. Whether he can make the step up to the Championship, I'm not sure. He is a bit one-dimensional at times, and even if he was playing in League One, wasn't amazing week in, week out. So how he's going to do against better defenders, I'm not sure. But those 2 would be the ones who I would definitely point out as a ones to watch for Derby.
And if I were to turn the tables on you and say, who from Blackburn Rovers are you kind of more, scared about? Of course, we know or anticipate Smodic might not be here, but I would probably go with the fact that he's not going to be here. But who gives you the heebie-jeebies, or who would you excited to see pull on the blue and white shirt for the game?
Well, it is definitely a bonus for Derby if Schmodix isn't there. I don't think he'll be playing against Derby, whether he's staying or not this season, will he? But that's obviously a blow for Blackburn. Someone who I've kind of earmarked to have a good season for Blackburn's Tyree Stolen. Now, Blackburn fans will be fully aware that he's had plenty of moments over the past 4 years where he's stood out, looked like a very talented player, looked like a very threatening player, but he just doesn't do it every single week. However, when you see him in those moments, you think, oh, what a player. And all it takes is one moment for him to really show what he's capable of. If he gets a bit more consistent, then yeah, I'd be quite excited to see what Tyree Stolen can do this season. And otherwise, it's a bit interesting with Blackburn, isn't it? Because the squad has been looking a bit thin at the moment with no transfers coming in. Having said that, of course, on Wednesday when we're recording this, the Blackburn have gone a bit mad with signings. So I'm a bit interested to see how the new Japanese striker does, whose name escapes me. I know he's come from Sanfrecce Hiroshima, where I was literally in Hiroshima this time last month. So it's a bit strange seeing him come into the championship. So it feels like he's followed me. But yeah, him and the other new striker who Blackburn have signed, whose name also escapes me, I'm looking forward to see, because Blackburn definitely need a bit more firepower if Schmodix is going. But yeah, Tyree Stolen could be someone who I think could step up his game a new level this season.
Yeah, I think we're looking a little bit more bulkier up front now with these additions. And again, I think there's a few going on the outdoor. So it's a bit of a new era for Rovers, and hopefully a good one. But let's just say I had a magical wand and gave you the keys to Pride Park, and you were in charge for this match. Who would be in your 11 for the opening game of the season?
Oh, crikey. Well, at the moment, it's a bit difficult to say, because Derby are still very much one of those clubs who are looking to sign players. I'm not even sure who's going to be starting in goal at the moment, because Joe Wildsmith has gone, and he was our number one last season. We have been trying to get another one, so and I have to skip over goalkeeper at the moment. Curtis Nelson and Aaron Cashin were fantastic for Derby last season. We had one of the best defensive records in League One. In fact, the best defensive record in League One. And I've always spoken quite a bit about Cashin. Someone I think can really have a really, really good season for Derby. We'll probably go with the back three, because that's what Paul Warne has pretty much stuck to during his time at Derby. I'm not sure who the other defender is going to be. Probably Sonny Bradley, who I'm not totally convinced about at this level, or particularly convinced about him at League One level, but there you go. Right wing back will probably be Kane Wilson, who was one of the surprising kind of standout players for Derby last season. He in flashes looks absolutely fantastic. So probably him at right wing back, and then Ben Osborne, who's a new signing at Derby, fantastic player who is by far and away Derby's best signing so far. This summer, I imagine he'll probably be playing at left wing back, probably, because we haven't got a whole host of options there. Midfield's a bit interesting. So we've lost Max Bird, we've lost Conor Hourihan, who are two main midfielders last season. We've also lost Corey Smith, who wasn't great, so I'm not too disappointed about that. We'll probably have our new signing, Kenzo Goudmine, I think his name is, who's joined from AZ Alkmaar. Some people are quite excited about him. I haven't seen him at all in pre-season yet. So he's a young lad who's just coming over from Holland. So I'm certainly excited to see a bit more of him. Iber Adams as well was really, really good for Derby when he joined on loan last season. We've now got him permanently, so he'll probably be playing alongside him in midfield. The rest of the team's quite hard to call as well. We've signed a new lad, David Ozo, who's on loan from Crystal Palace. Whether it's a bit too soon for him, I'm not sure. I imagine what we'll probably do is go with Nathaniel Mendez-Lang behind the two strikers as a number 10. And then we've signed Jerry Yates from Swansea, who I just mentioned. I'm not completely convinced about him at championship level, considering he didn't have a great season off the back of with Swansea last season. So he'll probably start up front, and then maybe James Collins, who again, as I was saying earlier, I'm not too impressed by. As you can kind of guess, Dirk, I'm not terrifically excited about this Derby squad at the moment. It's definitely serviceable, but I'm hoping we'll do a lot more business before the window closes. But obviously for Blackburn fans, they won't care.
Wow, yeah. Hey, it's the opening game of the season and everything's up in the air. We don't know. But on a bigger prize or a bigger scale, what are your overall hopes for Derby County this season? Is it just safety, stability, or maybe something a bit more adventurous?
100% just stay up. I just want Derby to stay up. I don't think anyone in Derby wants another season in League One because it got a bit depressing at times. But we're back in the Championship, which is always great. And I think a large portion of the Derby fan base would just rip your arm off for safety now. I'm saying that as someone who has more of an oversight of the whole league. I don't think Derby's squad is great. I don't think Paul Warren's a great manager. We have got to keep in mind he may not last the season. I don't think he will. So that's something to keep in mind. And I'm hoping that, assuming Paul Warren doesn't last the season, we're getting someone good who can just guide us towards safety, because I'm not envisioning Derby having a flying start out the traps. Don't know how we'll do against Blackburn, but I'm sure we'll get onto that. So yeah, I just take safety. Anything else is a bonus as far as I'm concerned.
And, they do open up the season against Rovers, but they've also got in their first 5 games, Middlesbrough at home, Watford away, Bristol City at home, and Cardiff at home. How many points are realistic for Derby in those first 5?
Now you're asking. Without giving too much away, we are releasing our league table predictions next week. And some of those teams down there who you've mentioned, I've got at the lower end of the table. Some of the other ones you mentioned there, I'm expecting to a bit better. I would take 5 points from them. If we got 5 points from them, I think that'll be a really good job done. Anything more, great. I would probably expect us to get less than 5 points from them, to be honest.
Okay. All right. Now we're going to do something a bit weird. If I can get it all lined up here, I'm going to put you under the clock. 60 seconds of who's a better player in your eyes from Derby County. But these players have played for both Blackburn Rovers and Derby. Are you ready?
Yes.
So here we go. 60 seconds starting now. Daniel Ayala or Ryan Nyambe?
Sorry, Daniel Ayala.
Daniel Ayala, Leon Best.
Daniel Ayala every day of the week.
Daniel Ayala,
Daniel
Tom
Ayala
Lawrence.
up front.
Ayala or Tom Lawrence?
Oh, Tom Lawrence.
Tom Lawrence, Danny Graham.
Tom Lawrence.
Tom Lawrence, John Stead.
Tom Lawrence.
Tom Lawrence, Robbie Savage.
Tom Lawrence.
Tom Lawrence, Bradley Johnson.
I'd probably say Tom Lawrence still.
Tom Lawrence, Marcus Olsen.
Tom Lawrence.
Tom Lawrence, Peter Whittingham.
Peter Whittingham, but he wasn't very good for Derby.
Peter Whittingham, Stephen Warnock.
Peter Whittingham.
Peter Whittingham, DJ Campbell.
Peter Whittingham.
Peter Whittingham is it. He is, of course, the list goes on and on and on and on.
See, it's difficult because so many players you mentioned there were pretty bang average for Derby, but have done really well at Championship level. So I was basing it mostly on their Derby careers, but it feels wrong to have Peter Whittingham below Tom Lawrence.
I agree. Like there is a lot of dog poop down the bottom here, like Ashley Ward and Jeff Kenner. It goes on and on. It's a humongous list.
A long way back there. I don't think I ever saw Ashley Ward play. I think it was way before.
Well, he was Mr. Relegation. Wherever he went, he got that team relegated. So, anyway, finally, we are just about to wrap the sucker up. Score prediction, big game. Who's it going to be? What's it going to be? Score line under the cameras.
Yeah, I'm not too hopeful about Derby, as has been the common theme throughout this episode. Blackburn, I will say this, right, because I know plenty of Blackburn fans will be wondering how I think they'll do next season. And as I say, we've got league table predictions coming out this coming week, so you can have more of an in-depth look there. But I've seen a lot of Blackburn fans, I've seen a lot of people say about Blackburn, a lot of neutrals say they think Blackburn could be in quite a bit of danger this season and go down. I'm not as negative on Blackburn as that, I've got to say. So with that being said, I think Blackburn, with my neutral head on, will beat Derby on Friday night. Even though Schmodix isn't there, or probably not going to be there, I would still fancy Blackburn to get the job done over Derby, because I think Derby need a lot of work, not just on the pitch, but also in the dugout. Do you want an actual score prediction?
Sure, if you can hear me. Yeah, sure.
I'll go 2-0. Just because, as I say, I'm not confident about us going forwards. And I think Blackburn could score early on and then make it pretty comfortable from there on in and get another one late on.
Appreciate it. Appreciate your honesty. And I'm not saying, I'll take it, of course, but Rovers are Rovers. We love to fool everybody and be terrible on that whenever it comes around. Appreciate your time, Ryan. Want to chuck anything out there to the people that might be watching?
Yeah, league table predictions coming out next week. It's we'll be doing our bottom 8 on the Monday, middle 8 on the Tuesday, top 8 on the Wednesday. So make sure you listen to all of them for who we think is going to be finishing where in the Championship next season. We did get Leicester top and Ipswich second last season, so we've got a reputation to uphold this time around.
You've got a pedigree. It's been hopefully Rovers aren't in that drop zone, but appreciate it. Well, there you have it, folks. There you have it. Of course, big shout out once again to Ryan for giving up a bit of his time to talk all things Derby County as they look to kick on, get the season off to a fantastic start. But of course, hopefully he has egg on his face at the end of it. As Rovers, we'll be cheering on the boys to see if they can get it over the line. And this time around, again, don't forget to smash the like, smash your subscribe. Your non-stop shop for Rovers is right here. We'll continue on the coverage, of course, next week with the Calabetta Cup action. But until then, subscribe, smash the like, get your predictions in, of course, down below. But until then, we'll see you later.